let's jump into the match. So many players throughout 1v1 and Rocket League history have had some form of kill in their name. We've had Scrubkiller, we've had Firstkiller, now Kiileerrz. You know, it seems to be a good formula. You chuck kill in your name, you're probably going to be a ones god. But today, based on everything I've seen so far, I'm leaning towards Kiileerrz being the favorite here. Well, actually, there's a few reasons. Number one, he is the only player who was able to win without Game 5. He beat AJ 3-1. So he seems to be just a little bit of a level difference compared to AJ. And I put AJ and Firstkiller in pretty close proximity right now. So if Kiileerrz can beat AJ, I think he can beat Firstkiller as well. The second reason why I think Kiileerrz has got a good chance in this is because he's not just a one playstyle kind of guy. You know, AMS and Dark both stuck to the same playstyle for the entire series when they played against Firstkiller. AMS playing a very calculated and grounded style, Dark playing an ultra-aggressive aerial-based style. Now, Kiileerrz has got both. He actually showed different styles versus AJ in the series that they played against each other. That's a mistake, and Firstkiller's going to tie the game, though. Kiileerrz had an advantage there with the boost, but actually gave the ball away in a panic. Yeah, he's just thinking too much about the counter-attack there, not about making sure the ball goes to a safe location. Yeah, Kiileerrz versus AJ, you know, he really fought for the midfield in the first 3 games. He was really putting the pressure on AJ, and then after AJ beat him in Game 3, Kiileerrz just dialed it back a little bit, sat in goal for most of the game. And that really surprised AJ, who was expecting more just of an all-out war from Kiileerrz, more crazy pre-jumps, and he wasn't ready for the more solid playstyle that he went up against. But the one thing that Firstkiller does have in his favor, actually he's got a lot of things. Number one thing that he's got in his favor is that he literally is Firstkiller. That's always a bonus when you're in a 1v1 lobby. The second thing that he's got in his favor is that he's on a crazy hot streak right now, not just with 2 series wins in a row, but undefeated in Game 4 and Game 5 today. In both the series versus AMS and Dark, he won Game 4 and 5. So even if he's down in the series, he's shown that he can come back. He's shown that he's not you know, tilting, he's not panicking. Seen a lot of early forfeits today from various players. Firstkiller's not one of them. He's just staying with it. And he's started off strong against Kiileerrz. He's actually generated more shots than Kiileerrz early on. Really the only major thing that stands out so far this game is that mistake from Kiileerrz that gave Firstkiller his opening goal. Kiileerrz again able to build a boost advantage for himself. Has to be careful. Does jump over the back corner demo attempt from Firstkiller. Right into the air goes Kiileerrz. It's a very efficient takeoff. He's got a lot of boost to recover with, and he'll need it because Firstkiller saved his first shot. I think he won't get there because Firstkiller's too quick. Slots to counter-attack. Now this is something we saw more and more as the series went on against Dark. Dark, games 2 and 3, was having a lot of success in offense against Firstkiller, but Firstkiller just downloads his opponent. He adapts to his opponent so well. It's a good save by Kiileerrz, but he's still up against it here. Firstkiller always one to trust his backboard reads, and always one to trust his speed. He told me in the break, by the way, that it's hard to play fast, but I want to compliment him on his adaptation. If you look back at the first couple of games he played today against AMS, maybe the first 3 games, you'll see so many mistakes from Firstkiller. He was messing up wave dashes, he was messing up flip resets. I think he, you know, just needed a bit of time to adjust to the away server, and now that he's had that extra time, he's really looking so solid and tough to beat. He's had Kiileerrz's number so far in Game 1. Firstkiller giving a ton of space to his opponent here. It seems to be his solution. You know, some players try to play as aggressively as possible when they're on high ping to compensate for reaction time being more difficult to rely upon. But Firstkiller's gone the other way. He's actually playing less aggressively in defense than he usually does, and he's given himself a bit more space to react and just trusting his positioning, trusting his defensive ability to leave him in the right spot. Speaking of defensive ability, that is an unbelievable save from Kiileerrz. He's crossbar pinched it wide off the bar, and that gives Firstkiller a counter-attack again. You know, Kiileerrz is being pushed to the limit here in offense. He knows that he's going to need to produce brilliance to get past Firstkiller's defense that he's had on display for the past 2 series. And he's not been able to hit perfect shots both the times that he's been asked to so far this game. In fact, they've both led to goals for Firstkiller. The 2 big Kiileerrz aerial plays, instead of going into the back of the net and giving him a 4-3 lead, they've gone into the back of his net on the counter-attack. Now he's down 5-2. Just a minute to go. Kiileerrz will up the aggression here. We saw him do it many times so far today. He just goes faster and faster later in a game. Oh, what a play. Triple tap with a reset to kick it all off. Kiileerrz up early to read the outward bounce. And Firstkiller thought that the first rebound was on target. Kiileerrz slotted it underneath it as he pre-jumped. Yeah, Firstkiller's got to look out for the early challenges here. Kiileerrz is going to send a few towards him, I'm sure, at the tail end of this game. Right now, he's just waiting for that angle to look a bit prettier. He might demo Firstkiller in landing. He does. That's a mistake from Firstkiller. He doesn't overextend positionally, but he overextends with his car's life on the line. I mean, he had to fly downwards there, or he's going to lose position. And in doing so, he telegraphs where he's going to be landing. 1 goal game. Kiileerrz able to get the goal that he needed without pushing too hard for it. Now he sets up a boost seal with a ground shot, but well dealt with by Firstkiller. He absolutely rips a counter-attack. Might have bounced a bit too far. Now Firstkiller's in a bit of a dangerous position. Another slow air dribble by Kiileerrz, and he finishes it off the same way that he did earlier today, with a bump on a low sitting Firstkiller. This is not the first time we've seen him do this. He air dribbles slowly towards his opponent, not quickly, trying to bait the jump. He just allows it to happen. That was a bizarre situation. Firstkiller actually hit the clear so cleanly that it led to Kiileerrz having a bounce to play with on the counter-attack. It's sort of the counter-attack. Because, you know, if Firstkiller hadn't hit the initial clear... Oh, hold that thought. He might be conceding here. Firstkiller's got to be careful. Careful is exactly how he's played this. In fact, he's got a chance to score. Kiileerrz falling off the ceiling. Well, this is brave, and it's somewhat worked out, but Firstkiller keeps it up. Kiileerrz unable to make contact. Firstkiller drops it. Well, Firstkiller almost made up for the 3-goal swing with 0-second heroics. And we go to overtime. Kiileerrz will save the first flick. Lands well. Firstkiller's there. Second shot. Not the best Firstkiller's ever fired towards the opponent. He's being so careful here. Does not want to get demoed again. It's Firstkiller's to play again in overtime. Tries to catch Kiileerrz pre-jumping. Kiileerrz holds his nerve, and he's now got to be careful. Firstkiller demos him. Ball doesn't bounce well for the open net, but Firstkiller's still got another good chance here. He's had all the opportunities in OT so far. Yet again, Kiileerrz there to save it. A forced shot for Firstkiller, and this one's on the line, but Kiileerrz pinches it clear off the inside of the post. It's all Firstkiller in overtime. What's Kiileerrz got? He's got the speed. Double jump pop will do it. He didn't have any boost, but he didn't need it. Kiileerrz just did enough with that first touch to put Firstkiller in an awkward position. And, you know, I don't really blame Firstkiller for turning there. I think I speak for all of the NA copers in chat when I say that surely on his screen he was closer, but server says no. Kiileerrz beats him to the punch and takes game 1. Now, before that really tense ending, I was trying to explain that actually Firstkiller's ability to generate power out of nothing kind of, you know, hurt him there, because he sent such a powerful clear towards Kiileerrz's side of the field that it bounced off the curve next to the floor and immediately went right back towards his goal. Now, if Firstkiller had dropped that clear short, Kiileerrz's counterattack wouldn't have come as quickly, and Firstkiller would have had more time to grab boost. So it's one of those really weird situations where actually hitting the ball harder and clearing the ball perfectly works against you. So a very, very unlucky bounce there for Firstkiller to give Kiileerrz the run-up for the air dribble bump to tie the game. But still, clutch by Kiileerrz. He needed 3 goals. He got 3 goals at the tail end of the game. Once again, look at that power that Firstkiller generates. What a whip he gets on the ball with hardly any run-up. It really is amazing. I mean, it doesn't look like much. When you watch him do it, it just looks so simple. He makes it look so easy. But the reason it's easy for him to shoot is because the angles that he approaches the ball from are almost perfect every single time. You know, some other players, even at the highest level, will try and play that shot and they'll be a bit too low, a bit too high, a bit too early, and then the shot will lose some power. But Firstkiller always seems to have the exact right amount of time. Oh, good snipe, Kiileerrz. And Firstkiller thinking that was hitting the bar and bouncing out, but it's gone in. See from Firstkiller's eyes here. Yeah, it goes very high initially. It looks like it's hitting the bar and going out of the goal. Just spins in. And, you know, I said that Firstkiller's game 4-5 record today has been immaculate, but his game 3 record has been anything but, so he really needs to win this. He's having a great time defending against Kiileerrz's aerial game, though. You know, if I'm Kiileerrz's coach here, suggesting what he should maybe try and do in offense, I would be saying, stop trying to outplay Firstkiller to that far post top corner. It's not working. Firstkiller's lunging saves have always been a big part of his game, and they certainly are today. Kiileerrz not able to replicate. Firstkiller puts himself up by 1. You know, if Kiileerrz is going to have success with his aerial game, I think he's got to start shooting at the near post top corner. Just deny Firstkiller counterattacks. You might not be scoring, but at least you're not going to be conceding. And, you know, play for the long game, play for the boost starving, play for the position. Because trying to get the ball past Firstkiller first time, something even Dark struggled with in the previous matchup. Kiileerrz on the back wall, Firstkiller with the correct response. Now, what do you do when your opponent's on the back wall? Don't hit it towards them, because it's very difficult to fly downwards while also covering the shot that could be going up to your net there. So Kiileerrz had to just guess, you know, is Firstkiller going to stay low, or is he going to pop that one high? And he guessed incorrectly. If your opponent's on the back wall, don't hit the ball up. Just let it stay low. Kiileerrz not picking the right line to defend with there. Strong challenge by Firstkiller. Actually tries to capitalize on a Kiileerrz miss wave dash, and he does. Possession for the American. Really liked how Kiileerrz has played the end of every game. The final minute of every game from Kiileerrz today has been textbook. He's just played with the perfect amount of aggression to try and surprise his opponent late in the game and give himself a chance to come back. That's only possible if he keeps the game close. It's this mid-game that's so important when you're trailing. You cannot afford to give Firstkiller a 4 or 5 goal lead, as Dark did in games 1 and 5. You don't, as then you're going to need to surprise your opponent so many times to come back late in the game. Kiileerrz going for the open net here. Firstkiller saw that, cut it off. Firstkiller staying well away from the potential demo, and look at the shooting from Firstkiller again. That's absolutely flawless. He knows the demo's coming towards him. Just passes to himself off the sidewall instead of being risky and going for the first time shot. And catches Kiileerrz out of position. You know, if your opponent's looking for a demo like that, they can't cover their goal in the following second or two. Firstkiller's years of 1v1 expertise paying off once again. And Kiileerrz came back from 3 goals down in the first game. Firstkiller gave him more to think about here. Not yet. Oh, Kiileerrz misses the boost steal though. This is a very awkward read for him, and he can't get it. Firstkiller just steers it in. You know, this is, I feel like, the Firstkiller effect. He's one of those players who just has an aura around him when he's in the lobby. When you play against this guy in any game mode, you know that you're going to need to play as quickly as you can. You're going to need to play as efficiently as you can if you're going to match him for pace. And that Firstkiller effect has caused Dark and now Kiileerrz to miss corner boost grabs, because they're trying to grab the very pixel on the pixel of the corner boost on the very, very edge of the hitbox, understanding that if they don't, Firstkiller's probably going to beat them to the ball. So it's just the constant pressure, the presence that Firstkiller has in the lobby that's causing these players to make these mistakes. It might just look like simple boost grab mistakes, but you know, if they know that if they don't grab the outward edge, they're just going to get beaten to the ball anyway. So it's a forced mistake in a way. Bit of both maybe, and it's definitely an unforced error, but I think it's an unforced error that is a result of Firstkiller just putting pressure on you for so long. Well, what is this from Kiileerrz? That is so unorthodox. I think it's surprised Firstkiller with how simple it is. Kiileerrz just walking the ball forward and then single jumps. He's got back within one, and he somehow effortlessly came back with his second game in a row. And its pace changes, much like TRK, much like Roas. You know, these guys, Kiileerrz as well, they don't rely on the constant pace like Naupo and Dark do. It's they're the pace changers in the Middle East, the guys who look for bursts of speed, even little ones, to catch their opponent by surprise. Kiileerrz shocks Firstkiller with an early challenge that he did not see coming. Oh my goodness, what a save though by First. Kiileerrz thought it was a done deal with the open net. The Firstkiller came out of nowhere. Now he's got a double tap from a tight angle and he's going to put it in. Kiileerrz first to compliment in the quick chat. Ridiculous back and forth. Firstkiller makes an impossible save after an unthinkable recovery, and then gives Kiileerrz a taste of his own medicine with the early challenge. Has Kiileerrz got much left? He's trying to build up a bit of an angle before cutting in with the attack. He's got Firstkiller panicking here. Kiileerrz with the bump and the goal. Textbook approach from Kiileerrz. He's threatening ground shots, he's threatening to cut in field and flick the ball, and while all that's happening, Firstkiller forgets about the bump. One goal game again, 27 seconds left. Firstkiller just saw it a fraction of a second too late there, and now Kiileerrz is stealing his boost away. What has Firstkiller got left in the tank? He's got one pad to his name, but he's also got a speed flip to equalise the possession. Now Firstkiller leaves Kiileerrz to do his worst. Into the air he goes. Firstkiller's got a great position to save this, but he doesn't make contact. Oh my goodness, it's in! Firstkiller timed his jump so well. He was up early. Kiileerrz didn't even think about bumping him, but he bailed on the save. Tried to fly back down to the ground, and that allowed Kiileerrz an open net. Just 1 second left, and Kiileerrz, for the second game in a row, has equalised at the tail end of it. Into overtime we go. Firstkiller must be reeling from these late comebacks. Kiileerrz somehow figures out a way to make it work, and now he's got the first chance in overtime. Firstkiller flies right by him. He's going to recover quickly, and Kiileerrz didn't have a nice bounce to play with off the back wall there. Back corner boost is going to spawn for Firstkiller, but he doesn't even need it. And he might wish that he went for it, because now Kiileerrz has demoed him. And he's wave dashing into a shooting angle. Firstkiller lunges in for the save. How many times have we seen that today? Kiileerrz didn't aerial for that one, but the result might be similar. Counter-attack is coming, and Firstkiller fakes him. An absolute beauty. It's not an open net counter-attack, but it may as well have been, because the ball has rolled in, has bounced in. All the same, Kiileerrz was expecting something a little bit quicker to be coming at him, and now he looks a bit silly, flopping past the ball. 1-1. USA and KSA on a knife edge once again. G Vasco, thanks for the prime, welcome to the channel. Hope you're enjoying the content today. How are you guys liking this format, by the way? I feel like this is the correct time to be asking. I asked you guys yesterday and the day before when we had sweeps, but now that we've seen the full format in all of its glory, what are you guys thinking about this? You know, give me some ones spam in the chat if you're liking this for a Nations 1v1 format. It's been really enjoyable for me. I've not felt like this has been a grind at all to cast. You know, I've just casted one away from the maximum amount of games in 4 best of 5s. 3 game 5s and a game 4, and now we could be going to another game 5, but it feels like, you know, it feels like the first cast of the day. It really does. So, you know, usually if it feels like it's not a grind for me to cast multiple matches, that's when I usually back the format to be a good one. So yeah, definitely gets a plus from me. That's a bad bounce for Firstkiller. Kiileerrz in the area to read it, but well played Kiileerrz to attack that quickly. Firstkiller thought that Kiileerrz was going to take the ball to the back corner and settle for a 100 boost, but Kiileerrz just turns around and shoots straight away. you know, keep it. It's not, sometimes in 1v1, it's not about getting 100 boosts for yourself. It's about keeping your opponent on 0 or 12. Really limiting what they're capable of. Who made up the format? Yours truly, bro. I told my stream on, I think it was on Wednesday, I told you guys that, yeah, probably just going to be doing some show matches. Nothing too crazy for the week before I go away for Christmas and New Year. And then I had a look at my my tier list, my rankings for 1v1 players, and I thought, well, you know what would be really cool right now is a 1v1 World Cup. I can use this ranking that I've done to help me sort out the teams. And yeah, we just went for it. So gotta give another shout out to the players for making this so easy to do, because I literally told them the day before we started and they all said, yeah, let's do it. So yeah, big shout out to the players. It feels like a lot of the best 1v1 content is spur of the moment. Oh, that's beautiful. Kiileerrz had quite a lot of incentive to go for a mind game there after how game 2 ended. Well, that was a really good setup for it. And he had a solid 50 to back it up, even if Firstkiller did hit the ball. I don't think Kiileerrz was all in or interested in giving Firstkiller one of his patented counterattacks. This is another case of Kiileerrz trying to keep Firstkiller in low boost. It hasn't worked out this time. He's trying to turn around quickly there before Firstkiller can grab some small pads. Now is Firstkiller going to flip you? He is. Well, Kiileerrz didn't think Firstkiller was going to go for that one. Kiileerrz trying to fake Firstkiller off the ball, but Firstkiller's not having it. They're really reading each other to an extremely high level right now. Only 3 games in to the matchup. So many mind games. Firstkiller trying to double, but Kiileerrz gets goal side and will counter-attack to equalize. Oh, we are seeing more mind games per minute than I've seen in a long time. It's really not the mind game meta these days, but these two are delving deep into each other's souls and looking for ways to outplay each other without actually outplaying each other. This series was not expected to be a close one, even by me. I thought it would probably be 3-1 to the United States if Kiileerrz got a good matchup in round 1. I thought, okay, I think Daniel will beat Kiileerrz, but I could see Kiileerrz beating AJ or Firstkiller. And, you know, Kiileerrz did beat AJ. But I really did expect Daniel to just win his match and for Dark and Ams to struggle to compete. This has been such a close series. You are joking. How has Kiileerrz saved that? He is looking like his twin brother right there with these saves. Now the fake aerial, followed up by control, and of course you guessed it, yet another mind game. Kiileerrz trying to slow roll that boost steal, but it didn't spawn in time for him. Firstkiller, high flying into the backboard, but a quick wall dash more than gets Kiileerrz in position to save it. And the flick is good. All it took was one brief move forward for Firstkiller, and Kiileerrz ripped it right over him. Yeah, man, the comebacks from Kiileerrz have been so impressive. He didn't wait too late in this game to make it happen. Oh, he might have disconnected here. Well, that was a no-move play there from Kiileerrz. I'll just go ahead and pause it. It was 151. That's all good. Well, we're just going to add a second back onto the clock and restart from kickoff again. So yeah, that was an obvious DC. There is no advantage to just sitting still. That is not a kickoff strategy. You know, there's a lot of unorthodox kickoff strategies these days, but just not moving is not one of them. That's not one I'm familiar with. Okay. Yeah, we should be good to go here. I just wanted to make sure that countdown was correct. Brief DC for Kiileerrz. Hopefully the only one we're going to see this series. I've left the party. Hopefully that's not caused any distraction for the players. That's a monstrous shot for Firstkiller. You know, in a series full of mind games, at some point you've just got to go for it. And look at Firstkiller here. He's just showing no respect to Kiileerrz defense. Just air-roll shot from point-blank range, saying, you know what? We've had far too many mind games now. I'm just going to shoot the ball and see what happens. Perfect time to do it. 4-4. Kiileerrz Trying to get some life into a lifeless ball, and he's somehow done so, but Firstkiller probably thought he was being more sneaky than he actually was here. Kiileerrz could see him the entire time. Yeah, Firstkiller thought he was sneaking in a reverse challenge there, but Kiileerrz actually was able to see Firstkiller throughout that entire sequence, so not the right time to be going for a reverse challenge. Firstkiller might be down by 2 here. Kiileerrz gets the demo. It's wide open. And not even an ear post spawn is going to save Firstkiller here, who's left the goal. Rapidly turned to come back to it after realizing Kiileerrz is going to slow roll him. I love that from Kiileerrz. As soon as your opponent flips away like this, there is absolutely no reason to score if you've already got a goal lead. You might as well knock a couple seconds off the clock. 1:10 left, and it is another cheeky kickoff, this time from Kiileerrz. Firstkiller probably thought, okay, Dark's done. Don't need to worry about the kickoff mind games anymore, but even Kiileerrz is pulling them out the bag now. And he's up by 3 late in the game. It's been 3-goal and 4-goal comebacks from Kiileerrz in games 1 and 2. And Firstkiller turn it around. Give him a chance to take the lead in a series for the first time after 3 games. He's trailed 2-1 after 3 in both of the series he's played today. Can Firstkiller, like Kiileerrz did before him, up the aggression in defense at the tail end of the game? He needs to really just go for it here, and I don't think that was going for it. That was very much waiting for Kiileerrz to panic and flip past the ball. In fact, Firstkiller calls next as he falls to an 8-4 scoreline. It's double match point KSA. Kiileerrz trying to do what Ams and Dark could not. And that is beat Firstkiller in game 4. Same story for Firstkiller. Same script every series he's played to date. Trailing 2-1. Having to come back. You've got to think, surely he can't do it again. Kiileerrz has definitely been the best match for him so far. He has looked like the most well-rounded opponent that Firstkiller's faced. So, as we would expect, stylistically. But will Firstkiller switch things up? He's adopted a very defensive stance, a very passive defensive style compared to what we're used to seeing from him. I want to see him fight more for that midfield. I want to see him mix it up a little bit. Phenomenal decision making there from Kiileerrz. It was so tempting always to run into that back corner and grab the boost, but he knew that it was a risk that was not worth taking. Effortless wall dashes from Kiileerrz whenever he needs to make them happen. Oh, look at the timing. Firstkiller with a 6th sense. Pops the ball over the reverse challenge. That was the right time to be going for a reverse challenge, by the way. You know, I pointed out earlier that Firstkiller had messed up the approach in his reverse challenge attempt. He was in full view, but as you can see from Firstkiller's perspective in that shot, he did not have vision of Kiileerrz, but he still knew, based on the timing alone, that Kiileerrz could be reversing into the ball there after faking a challenge with a power slide. Underdunk ties the game. Kiileerrz fakes high, leans back at the last second to force the ball underneath his opponent. Really feel like an early lead is critical for Firstkiller here. He just seems to keep chugging along every game 4 and 5 that he's played today, while his opponents start to fall apart, but up until now, Kiileerrz has not shown signs of doing that. That's a very surprising save from Firstkiller. I don't think Kiileerrz was expecting it to go that way, but he reacted with the right response, even if that's not the direction he thought the ball was going to go in. Pretended to go for the ball, and then slammed Firstkiller as he got into point-blank range. Didn't even need to turn off ball cam for that one. He was keeping an eye on the ball the whole time. Firstkiller fakes the volley. Kiileerrz calls the bluff on that one and puts in a 3rd goal. Well, now things are looking a little bit more desperate for Firstkiller. He's been red on quite a few plays this game. A more proactive stance from Kiileerrz after a game riddled with mind games. And I mentioned earlier, you know, Kiileerrz is quite comfortable playing any style. Very adaptable player, very well-rounded player these days. Gone are the days where he was a player who fell into the same category as Dark is right now, just running around the field, rampaging around the field almost. Oh, I think Firstkiller actually just missed that open net. He completely predicted Kiileerrz not jumping to challenge him. Yeah, Kiileerrz is defending excellently in this matchup. Firstkiller is going to need to step it up here. He's relied on counterattacks a lot today. Well, look at this. He's going to ride the bump off the takeoff into a double tap. Great first touch there by Firstkiller. So much power, as he often gets on all of his hits. Of course, we all knew he wasn't going to give Kiileerrz an easy finish. He was not going to make it simple for the young Saudi Arabian player. Kiileerrz might be the most experienced in recent times on his team when it comes to 1v1. Firstkiller has experience going back years and years from now, winning tournaments before Kiileerrz was a known entity, before Kiileerrz was even in the top 100 in the ranked leaderboards. Kiileerrz just reacting in time there. Firstkiller spotted the challenge coming. Kiileerrz has danced past him here though, and the finish is good. Mistake from Firstkiller, underestimated Kiileerrz speed and approach. You wonder, why would he underestimate Kiileerrz speed? I mean, it's bursts of speed, yes, but that's more than in Kiileerrz wheelhouse to approach a ball in that position. Firstkiller, oh, he went for the perfect shot and he's missed the ball. Now, he wanted to absolutely slam that, and to do so, you need to clip it as it goes past you, but I mean, the downside is if you don't hit the ball, you're going to concede, and the difference between hitting the ball and sending a scorcher on target from that position is just a few millimeters. Firstkiller falls on the wrong side of it there. Kiileerrz responding well to these heavy shots that Firstkiller's firing at his net. Firstkiller tried to get the mid boost there after hitting the ball. Kiileerrz beat him to it. Firstkiller will up the aggression, and he needs to up the aggression. He can't just sit back and let Kiileerrz come at him. Kiileerrz is not going to take risks like Dark did. Firstkiller needs to advance, and he does, and gets his third goal of the game. Well, that's a strong wave dash kickoff from Kiileerrz. Firstkiller has to concede possession again. Kiileerrz wants to bait Firstkiller in. Oh my goodness, what a shot! Well, Firstkiller didn't want to fall for Kiileerrz tricks here. He knows that you don't have anything at the end of that air dribble. I'm not going to go for the ball, but Kiileerrz lunges under it and scoops it over him. And that's something Firstkiller did not expect. One step ahead, always has a plan B, and still in the lead by 3. Firstkiller with a mistake. At a critical moment, he is starting to fall apart here. Faced with his biggest test of the day, he panics and concedes a 7th. Firstkiller's not done yet though. He did concede in the last game, and now he's on his last life. He's on USA's last life. Oh, it's all gone wrong there though. Firstkiller is motionless, and we do see GG's called. Kiileerrz with another 3-1 win confirms the all KSA semi-final. Firstkiller did more than you could ask of him. Kiileerrz was the best player on the day. Still a great run from Firstkiller. That is such an impressive feat to, with 120 ping mind you, beat both AMS and Dark. And AMS and Dark played so well today. This is a, you know, on any day this would be an impressive streak, but today especially, yeah, Kiileerrz just something else, man.